Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. It's March 23rd, 1:06 right now in the afternoon with temperatures only in the teens outside, but we are warming up a bit more. I'll touch on that forecast here in just a moment. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm. I'm here with our Ag Director Bridgette Readel and Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysock. He checked out a little early for his vacation, so we wish him the best on his way out to Arizona, and hopefully he doesn't get a sunburn while he's out there or ruin his little vacation.
And if he does, I hope he doesn't tell us about it.
Yeah, I wish that we could be heading out there, but someone had to hold down the forts while Dean is away, so it'll be me and Bridgette for the next week, and then Dean will be back on the following Monday. So fun things to come up Justin, on the show. Yeah, what's up?
Speaking of holding fort, okay, you're going to like this a lot. We talk about the LRC so often, and we have definitely had others in the spring and the fall. Today, I happened to take my pickup in for service here, and there were some folks in the waiting. They said there was, and let me see if I can get back to you here. There we go. I had some folks in the waiting room at the dealership who said, hey, we're hearing about this thing that's going to predict weather, and that's coming out of a radio station in Fargo. I think it's called the LRC, and I knew all about that. So the word is spreading. People are familiar with our LRC.
Hey, will you say the beginning part again? You were kind of chopping in and out. I heard you were at the dealership, and that was about it.
At the waiting room, there were folks talking about the weather coming out of Fargo, that it was predicting more storms. And they were talking about, so the word is spreading.
Yeah, Bridgette, I'm sorry, your connection is really cutting in and out. We'll have to try and get that reestablished. I'm getting about every other word. So while we try and get Bridgette's audio here connected a little bit more securely, run down a few things we're going to be talking about on the show today. We are going to be having a guest come on that's going to join us at the 1:20 segment, and we'd love for you to be able to join in on that conversation and ask some questions, as well as any point during the show if you want to chime in your thoughts on a topic we're talking about, how you feel about something, or just join in on the conversation, have some fun with us. Feel free to do so by connecting to our Red Wings Shoe studio line by calling in live. 701-293-9000 is that phone number to call into the studio. Again, 701-293-9000, or you can always reach us via email at weatherorag@flagfamily.com as well. You can send some tips that way if there's a topic or a subject you'd like us to dive a little deeper into, or maybe an interesting guest on a story that you've heard recently, wherever it is that you heard that story, and we can look into it, maybe see if we can get a guest on about that. So our guest today that'll be joining us here in about 10 minutes from now, 11 minutes, that's going to be Rob Saik. He's the app founder of AgVisor Pro, and I'm not sure what the app is, but Bridgette has said that it's a big app that a lot of people are using within the ag community, so it's going to be interesting to see what this AgVisor thing is. And if you are a user of this app, again, feel free to call in, let us know how you like it, and talk to the founder if you have any questions about it. Some of the ag topics that we're going to be touching on today, got one from last week. That's a domestic fertilizer plant that's being updated by the USDA. I can't quite remember if we touched on that one yesterday, but if we didn't, we're definitely going to touch on it today. As well, preventing bacteria on newly hatched poultry. There's a Nebraska mistreatment of livestock, and be wary of old fridge for livestock vaccines. So we'll touch on that as well as we head throughout the show. And as always, we look at that forecast that I'll touch on here in just a minute, but to kind of sum it up, not to say the forecast is bad, because there's plenty of nice days in there. We're just going to be dealing with below average temperatures. So we should be right around 40, and for the most part, temperatures will be sticking around the 20s to low 30s. So I'll touch on that forecast here in just a minute. Let's see if we got Bridgette back. Bridgette, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me better?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. So let's pick back up with that story you were telling us about the LRC. Where were you and what were they doing or talking about?
So I'm in Bismarck, and I happened to be sitting at the dealership this morning having some work done on my pickup. And folks were talking about, hey, I've been hearing about this weather prediction model out of Fargo and how we're going to get more snow at the beginning of April. I said, do you mean the LRC? Yeah, how come nobody else uses that? So the word has spread. People out here are paying attention to what's going on with the LRC and how accurate it has been in forecasting for us here at WDAY Radio.
You know, we've been really ecstatic, and it's been so much fun to be able to bring this kind of technology to a listening audience. And the community has been picking up on this tremendously with the amount of positive feedback and those that have been following. And it's okay to be skeptical about it. I mean, this is a really big leap in weather forecasting ability. It really, you start talking about anything that's beyond 10 to 14 days and your accuracy is down the drain. You have no idea what's going on. The numerical computer models that we use for our short-term forecasts, which work amazing, once you get that far out, because they deal with so many approximations and some assumptions, there's so many errors built up on it. And between model runs, you can have a huge storm system, and then the same model runs 12 hours later and it's completely gone at the end of the time frame. So there's just so many inconsistencies with the long-range capability of some of these long-range computer models, and the LRC is unlike them. We've been forecasting 3 to 9 months in advance with accuracy, with great accuracy, and there's still people out there that are saying, no, this is impossible. You can't do that. And like I was mentioning, Bridgette, it's a hard thing to not concentrate on, but to comprehend that ability of something new. And if it goes against something you were taught or things that are thought to be known about how the atmosphere works, of course there's going to be skepticism about it. And I used to be a really big skeptic on it as well. But if you follow along, you follow our forecasts, and here we are at the end of March, and our predictions from mid to early December are coming to fruition, you gotta be thinking there must be something to this. And our next LRC storm, likely one, coming right at the end of the month towards the 30th, 31st, and now our long-range computer models are suggesting that there will be a sizable storm system somewhere in the tri-state area, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, maybe Nebraska, Iowa, you know, that general area, coming in on the 30th and 31st of March. And then following that, right, long-range computer models are also hinting at a second storm around the 3rd of April, which just so happens to line up with our forecast as well from back in December.
Well, I think the most important thing to remember here is that this is why you tune in to hear what we have to say, because we can bring you some of the most accurate weather that you could possibly want when it comes to storms, planning ahead, doing a pile of different things that just make sense. So, folks, we are so glad to have you listening to us, asking those questions. And anytime you have questions about weather, also anything ag-related, just remember you can reach us by using our Red Wing Boots hotline, and you can call us at 701-293-9000 to join the conversation. And I'm going to switch gears just a little bit on you, Justin. I hope you're okay with that.
That's completely fine, Bridgette.
Well, there were some topics this morning that I brought up on our early morning shows that brought a lot more discussion. And I'm so glad when people send me emails or messages on Twitter with their questions. And one of them surrounds the fact that there is a reminder from our state veterinary services at North Dakota State Extension. Gerald Stoka is that veterinarian specialist. And it's a reminder that for all of you who are getting your new chicks for your backyard flocks, perhaps you are just getting into that. This is your first year. You might be picking your chicks up soon. And I have heard that there are stores that are even already sold out of their newly hatched poultry. Wow. Just remember, these little birds in their enclosures, you got to keep them clean. They're wandering around in their bedding. They're stepping in poop. Don't bring them in the house. Let them walk around on your countertops where you're cooking food and so forth, because as cute as those chicks are, I mean, they're like tiny little walking chicken nuggets. Remember, they're leaving that trail of bacteria and E. coli and salmonella on your countertops. So just remember, they are animals, okay? It's the same way that you train your cats and dogs to stay off your counters. You don't want to bring your chickens in, the new cute little chicks, and spread that kind of thing around. Make sure you're washing your hands and you're keeping all of your poultry equipment and supplies clean. So just a reminder for all those getting their new chicks.
Yeah, that's great news. I'm surprised. Well, I shouldn't say I'm surprised that they're selling them already, but to be sold out, I mean, that just must go to the whole trend of people wanting to raise chickens in their backyards taking up after Dean producing their own eggs with the high egg prices. Does that have something to maybe do with it? Is the price of eggs? And
Oh, I think so. I think there's a real trend that people want to be able to raise their own food. You can call it homesteading, call it what you want, but folks want to be more active in their own food production, and chickens is a way to do that. Now, remember to check your city ordinances. Don't just go bring home the flock and a rooster and hope that that's a good idea, right? Make sure that what you're doing can be done where you live. One other thing I want to make sure to keep in mind is we are in calving season, and we have a lot of times refrigerators out in the barn. Why, you may ask? Well, it's not just the beer fridge, but it can be. If you replace your refrigerator in your house, maybe it goes out to your garage, your shop, your barn. When it comes to putting them in the barn, that's a great place to keep your vaccines and antibiotics and other treatments for your livestock. But a lot of those refrigerators might not be accurate in their temperatures. Get yourself a digital thermometer, stick that in the fridge just to make sure it's where it needs to be, between 35 and 45 degrees for most vaccines, so that it's accurate, because you can sometimes have anywhere from $15 to $15,000 in treatments for your livestock, whether it's a vaccine, antibiotic, et cetera, and you don't want that to go to waste, right? You want to make sure that that's taken care of. So just a reminder, as once again, here we are in calving season, and we want to be taking the best care of our livestock and also any of our medicines for them. So just a heads up.
That's a great tip. You wouldn't think about it, but a lot of times, yeah, those little temperature sensors might not always be accurate. I've had dealing in a restaurant industry for many years. That was always one of the things, the little refrigerator LEDs displays. They're like, oh yeah, it's 38 degrees, it's 40 degrees, and you throw an actual thermometer in there and you come back and it's like, oh yeah, it turns out it's actually 48. So that's not at all where things should be served at. So it's important to kind of keep that in mind, even though something says it's the right temperature. It never hurts to have a double answer or to get a second reading.
Well, and speaking of those second readings, I heard you mention our guest who's going to be coming up just in a few minutes, and that's Robert Saik. Robert is the founder of the AgVisor Pro app. It's actually an app that I use, and I'm listed as an expert, which maybe that's a good or bad idea. We'll let Robert decide that. But he has a huge history in Canadian agriculture as an entrepreneur. He's brought many things to the forefront. We're going to visit with him about that, as well as the app that he's developed for our use, and something that our farmers in this region may want to take a look at as well. So let's get Robert on the line, and we'll come right back. Looking forward to visiting with you all, and stay tuned.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Like bones, your teeth lose density and become weaker over time, which can lead to tooth decay. And that can make your visit to the dentist feel like this. But if you want your dental visit to feel like this, try Crest Densify. Crest Densify actively rebuilds tooth density to extend the life of teeth by remineralizing enamel. Densify from Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America. Smile, Crest has you covered.
Do you suffer from stiff, achy, chronic knee pain? Have you been told you have arthritis? Is knee pain keeping you from enjoying your favorite hobbies? If so, the next 60 seconds could change your life. Please listen carefully. If we find you are a candidate for our unique approach, we will do a trial treatment, and day one you will know without a doubt if we can help you. Pick up the phone right now and call 701-502-6200. And best of all, we may be able to reduce and even eliminate your knee pain without pills, shots, or surgery. Due to limited capacity, you must call now at 701-502-6200. Hurry. Call now to find out if you qualify for our program that is changing lives and helping people save time, money, and agony. Call now 701-502-6200. You have nothing to lose, so call right now.
Hey, it's Jay Thomas for your local liquor store, Bottle Barn Liquors, with 3 locations in Fargo, West Fargo, and downtown just west of Broadway Square. They're one stop away from anywhere. Perfect for adventure, hosting, and grabbing gifts for. They're just right for every occasion. They have selections of the latest wine, spirits, liquor, craft beer, and premium cigars. Bottle Barn, your one-stop shop. So tell them Jay sent you. Locations on South University Drive, Veterans Boulevard, and now open in downtown Fargo.
Nancy Kelly Realty is here for you. We would love to show you around. Looking for the simplicity of country living? Then welcome home to Colfax Meadows in Colfax, North Dakota. An easy 25-minute drive from Fargo or Wahpeton. We have half and 1 acre lots starting at $22,500 with a 2-year tax exemption on new homes and low specials. Build your dream home, raise a family, or retire in the country. Colfax Meadows has a place for you. Find us at nancykellyrealty.com.
It's wild. It's unpredictable. It's back. Shooting Star Casino presents Coors PRTA Championship Rodeo. Friday, March 24th and Saturday, March 25th, 7:30 each night in the Fargo Dome. Top professional contestants from across the nation going head-to-head with the award-winning stock of Mossbrook Rodeos in 7 head-slamming, bone-jamming events and Nancy's Night at Cowboy Jack's. Get tickets at the Fargo Dome box office or Ticketmaster.com. Kids are half price. Coors PRTA Championship Rodeo. March 24th and 25th in the Fargo Dome, where 8 seconds is a lifetime. Sponsored by Holiday Inn Express and your local Ram dealer.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 123 this afternoon. It's 18 degrees outside of Fargo, and for the most part, temperatures are in those teens to low 20s around the area. Good thing is we got lots of sunshine and wind is light, so wind chill, not too much of a factor out there, but even though we are in the teens, we do feel closer to 10 degrees right now because of southwest wind at 9 miles an hour. We're still trying to get our guest connected here on the studio end, so we're just going to have to wait for Rob a little longer. Again, that's the founder of the AgVisor Pro app, and it's an app that Bridgette uses quite regularly, and she's actually an expert on the app or within it. So it'll be interesting to get that conversation when we get Rob connected with us. And it looks like we might have actually just got him connected. But Bridgette, do you want to tell me? Well, I guess we can wait. I guess we can wait for Rob. Maybe he can explain what this app is. And Rob, it looks like we got you now. Can you hear us all right?
You bet. Sorry about that, you guys. Just had a struggle with the password.
Hey, no problem. Well, Rob, why don't you tell me a little bit about what this AgVisor, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? It's AgVisor. Man, it's a Thursday.
Yeah, AgVisor.
AgVisor Pro. Tell me about this app. What is it?
Well, AgVisor Pro is a ecosystem that we're building. That's a fancy word for lots of people can connect in it. But what I've been trying to do is crack the code on helping farmers find experts that they don't know, or help farmers get somebody to give them a second opinion, or help farmers learn a new technology in a way that they haven't before. So the way it works is that if you have a question, you can post the question anonymously into AgVisor Pro, and the question will be geotagged, so you know if it came from Missouri or from Minnesota. And the question goes into AgVisor Pro, and we use that question to match. We got an algorithm that we built that matches that question to right now about 750 experts on the platform, and that allows you to get a number of responses back to your question. So today a question just came in, I think, on Group 1 resistance, and another person's asking a question about blight in apples, and somebody else is asking a question about some disease or ring rot in cows. So the questions come from all over the place. They can be equipment, they can be business related, and AgVisor Pro will allow you to ask that question, punch it into the system. You get back some responses, and you meet some experts that you never otherwise would have known.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the thing. Rob, you have brought together people who are experts in their field, literally and figuratively, and they get to answer from a point of view that drives a discussion that brings even better ideas to light. And the functionality, you know, it allowed me to go ahead and email you here as we were trying to work through making sure your link was correct, which I apologize for that from our end. And it's instantaneous, right? You can see exactly what somebody is sending you the message about. I got to tell you, has it taken you a long time to build so many great things into one app?
Well, you know, it's interesting the way you say that, because in fact, that's what we've done. We've taken in the approach of LinkedIn to provide verification of the experts on the platform. We've done some eHarmony in terms of algorithmic matching. We've got Uber built into it, so for schedulization and monetization, if you want to help pay the expert that you're consulting with. We built in FaceTime or optical real-time connectivity, so you never have to make a phone call or an audio call. All those things are built in. We built in the Twitterization, so you can have hits that are coming in on the topics that are of interest to you. We've got a Facebook feed that's built into AgVisor Pro. We've also got communities such as regenerative ag, or drones, or precision ag, both public and private communities that you can join. And so it's an ecosystem built for agriculture, whether you're in livestock or cropping or viticulture, horticulture, indoor farming, doesn't matter. Any aspect of agriculture, and it's a completely secure system devoted solely to the industry of agriculture.
It sounds like it's just a little bit of the best of everything put into one awesome app that's dedicated to agriculture and every side field that goes into it. This sounds super cool. Way to be on putting this together. As Bridgette was kind of hinting at, how long did it take to do this? How many years was this just a thought? How many years did it take to start turning it into what it is today?
Well, I founded AgriTrend back in 1997, so that gives you some indication. But no, I founded my previous company, AgriTrend, in '97, and we grew that to be one of North America's largest agricultural consulting firm, from northern Alberta down to the Mississippi Delta. And then that data system, and we were into precision ag, and we sold that to Trimble. Mm-hmm. And so I finished that in 2018. And in 2019, I began to think about, if I was going to do it all again, how would I harness the power of a digitization to really dematerialize time and space? So that's when I started to work on it. And I think I started to sketch this out on October 2nd of 2018. We launched an MVP in kind of late 2019, and since then, I've built a team around it, and we're really iterating quickly right now on enhancements to the product. But I got to tell you, I mean, there's people. I just had a question come in on that fire blight. That question came in from Chile. We have people on the platform from Lithuania. We've got people all over the United States, from Florida all the way to Hawaii on the program, so on the platform. So it's really cool. That's
absolutely incredible, and I'm glad to hear that people around the world are taking up on this to help everybody out. I mean, we're also spread out with our operations, and a lot of us do similar things, but we're such a far distance from each other. It's nice to have that easy way just within the ag community to be able to reach out for help, or as you had mentioned, just a second guess, or hey, maybe I'm trying to do this, has anyone done it before, what worked good for you, and you can just help other people out. But Rob, we're going to hit bottom of the hour here really quick. When we come back, we'll come back to this conversation. I want to know,
sure,
with people being all around the world, how many members are using your app? As well with that, does it cost anything to use? Is there memberships? how do you become an expert to help other people? So we'll get those questions answered. You want to get your question answered? Feel free to give us a call on the Red Wing Shoe Line, 701-293-9000, or you can always reach us via email, and we'll try and get those questions answered as well at weatherorag@flagfamily.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
News Talk Radio 970 WDAY. Hi, meteorologist Justin Storm. Every afternoon, my forecasts let you know how the afternoon weather is going to go and that all-important ride home from work. In all 4 seasons, that's the reason you listen. Weather changes fast, and I'll give you the current conditions as well as what the evening will look like so you can make decisions on the plans you've made. Don't forget Weather and Ag Radio every day at 1 p.m. right here on WDAY.
Oh, can you imagine a stress-free Sunday with family, friends, fun, and food? You can have it when you make Barron's your new Sunday brunch headquarters. Experience a brunch like nowhere else. Your kids will love the customizable waffle bar, fresh scrambled eggs, thick-cut bacon, and much more. Plus, while Mama sips on a mimosa, you can wear out the kids in the arcade at Kingpin's.
For a stress-free Sunday, mention My Brunch Headquarters and receive 20% off brunch at Barron's. Make your Sunday stress-free, filled with great food, no cleanup, and most importantly, where family, friends, fun, and food come together for brunch at Barron's. Go to brunchatbarons.com. Again, brunch at BARONS.com. And don't forget to mention My Brunch Headquarters for 20% off and experience your stress-free Sunday at brunchatbarons.com.
Brunch at Barron's, located inside Kingpin's off I-29 and 52nd Avenue South in Fargo.
It's the season truck buyers wait all year for. Chevy truck season at Pucklet Chevrolet GMC. We finally have a large selection of Chevy trucks that are now available with special event offers like the new 23 Chevy Silverado 1500. And now is a great time to order your new Chevy or check out our new inventory arriving daily at Pucklet Chevrolet GMC in Valley City or PuckletValleyCity.com. Tradition, values, and family ties. Chevy, find new roads.
So the media says indictments are looming against former President Trump anytime in New York, Georgia, and Washington. Trump calls it a political witch hunt, and Alan Dershowitz, the famed attorney, agrees. The famed liberal Harvard professor speaking out against the targeting of Trump in his new book, Get Trump. All this week, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax talking to Dershowitz about the weaponization of our justice system. Rob Schmidt is exposing this shocking abuse of power. You need to watch Rob Schmidt and Alan Dershowitz tonight. It's not about Trump. It's about you and your freedom. Watch Rob Schmidt tonight, 6 p.m. Central. It's the hottest show on cable news. Find Newsmax on major cable systems and streaming like Roku, Samsung, Vizio, Pluto, Zumo, and more. Don't forget to download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone. You can watch it anytime, anywhere. I watch Newsmax all the time. You should too. And tell your friends and family to tune in to Newsmax today.
Now is the perfect time to upgrade your kitchen with new appliances from Regal's. Get up to $2,000 back on select GE Profile appliances now through June 1st, featuring the latest smart home technology, providing a simpler and smarter cooking and cleaning experience. Smart technology meets unbeatable prices, plus free delivery and free recycling of your old appliances. Find out why for over 75 years Regal's has delivered value. Regal's, 609 Main Avenue, Moorhead.
Did you know that just about everything we eat, wear, and use comes from American agriculture? Not only do they provide all that, but help meet needs around the world. During National Ag Week, your friends at Fevig Oil and Propane salute and thank all that work in agriculture. Fevig Oil and Propane is a name you've grown to trust over their 60-plus years of providing propane, farming fuel, and lubricant requirements to the area. Fevig Oil and Propane online at fevigoil.com.
And welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. Thrilled that you are here and joining us today. And that's me, Bridgette Readel, along with meteorologist Justin Storm. And we have the great pleasure of being joined by a guest today, Rob Saik. Rob is a Canadian counterpart who works very extensively in agriculture and has for a lot of years. He's the founder of the AgVisor Pro app. And as we were going into our break, Rob, Justin and I both had the same question. This app sounds fabulous. And it is. I'm on the app and I help answer questions there. But it's free, right? And some of the services you can get out of there are pretty extensive. Do you want to talk about that for our farmers who are listening?
Yeah, well, you know, when you build something like this, you always are trying to figure out how to make it profitable. I mean, that's the name of the game in business. So we have companies that are on the platform that list their representatives on the platform. That goes into the algorithm, by the way. You have got a virtual farmers market. So if you're looking for drone advice, if you're looking for greenhouse advice, if you're looking for some support for family counseling on the farm, all of those virtual services are in the virtual farmers market, and you can connect with them. We have got some private communities that are subscription, but for right now, the farmers come on, and anybody can be on the platform in as little as 90 seconds. And the questions are all posted anonymously, so it's a very safe platform. And yeah, it just works. And the thing about it is agriculture, you know, there aren't many people involved in agriculture, but it is such a big industry. And we're spread out too. So the best expert for your farm is very often somebody you don't know. And that's what we're trying to crack, is how do you connect to people you really don't know to solve problems on your operation?
So Rob, I'm going to take a big step back because as you mentioned, you know, you started a company back in 1997. You've been running AgVisor Pro as its founder. You have done so many things. Give us a little background on your career in ag as one of those experts out there.
Well, I mean, plant physiology, soil chemistry, crop nutrition is the background. I in my 20s and early 30s, I started 2 retail operations, one in Alberta, one. I worked internationally in the sulfur industry all around the globe. I've written a couple books. TEDx talks been seen about 175,000 times. I was also CEO of DOT, the robotics company out of Regina, and we exited to Raven. Yeah, I run a peer group for farmers called the Power Farm Group. We've been running that now for over a decade to help farmers do benchmarking and leadership training at farm level.
You're a very busy guy. Congrats on all of your accomplishments, by the way. That's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Hold the phone. That's not all. I happen to know you have an alter ego by the name of Steve Stubblejumsky. Want to share that?
Wow. How did you dig that up? Well, yeah. So
we do our homework here, Rob.
My grandparents on both sides were Ukrainian farmers. So I'm 100% Ukrainian Canadian. And Ukrainians tell the best Ukrainian jokes. And so I have this character, Steve Stubblejumsky, that I've entertained across North America for about 30 years. Steve's getting a little on in time, and as I've devoted more and more energy to AgVisor Pro, I have less time to tell jokes. And really right now, there's not much fun about Ukraine anyway. So Steve is kind of taking a little hiatus right now.
There may be a time where you may need him again, right? We may
resurrect him, yeah.
So as we've talked about AgVisor Pro, you know, it'd be like saying, who's your favorite kid and what's your favorite part of it? Can you possibly break out one piece of your career and say that this was the most fun that I've done, or do you think maybe it hasn't even come by you yet?
You know, I belong to a coaching program for entrepreneurs, and one of the things that we talk about is, do you believe that your future can be bigger than your past? And I believe, Bridgette, I believe wholeheartedly that this is the biggest project I've undertaken in my life. It has the opportunity to transform how agriculture communicates. We're working with equipment dealerships to try to streamline the support that they do internally. We're working with agricultural retail operations to streamline the information that they're dealing with internally to help farmers faster. We're trying to work with precision ag technicians. We're going to be launching a channel called Precision Pro, which will be an exclusive channel for those people working in precision agriculture, dealing with the technology and helping out farmers. Because I'm a big believer that whether you're green, yellow, blue, red, raven, trimble, you've got experience that can help somebody else. And so we're going to create that kind of community to create that kind of information exchange.
Oh, absolutely it does. And I just think about all the different aspects of agriculture. You and I are both users on Twitter, and there are some folks that have joined AgVisor Pro just from watching the discussions we have. Folks that are livestock experts, right? Because livestock questions pop up, such as, I want to feed distillers grains to my cattle. What are things that I should expect or manage for in my ration? I have seen homeowner gardening type questions. So Justin, that's for you in our tomato competition. There's just so many things that it can open up to folks. And as we approach our spring planting season, I don't know if I can emphasize enough that this is a great place to follow and learn. You don't even have to jump into the conversation, right, Rob? There's some things that you pick up by osmosis.
Yeah, we built a little bit of Tinder in it too. So as the questions come in that are basically fed to you based on your interest levels that you set up when you come on the platform, you can see the questions come in and you can swipe to the right to participate in the conversation, swipe up to follow the conversation, swipe left to just discard the question. But we have a lot of people, Bridgette, who are doing nothing more than being wallflowers. They're just watching the conversations and learning, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm sorry, Justin, go right ahead.
You were saying how easy it is to be a part of this, and it's free for the basic consumer, which is people in agriculture. Is it only for farmers? And only just for people in agriculture? Or what about our listening audience here within the FM Metro? We're probably 60% urban, 40% ag. Yeah. What about the urban person? Can they pick up anything?
So this is interesting. We're having a conversation with the school board right now to see if we can use AgVisor Pro to set up communities so that teachers and students could ask anonymous questions about agriculture. And those questions would be answered by volunteer farmers and agricultural experts. There is so much disinformation today about agriculture and food production. And a survey we just recently did was 50% of teachers would want to teach more agriculture in the classroom, but they don't have the connection. We believe we can do that. And so AgVisor Pro, you can come on there as an urban person and watch the discussion or ask a question. Again, questions are anonymous, so you don't have to worry about being gaslit. And the discussion, because it's a professional network, the discourse is very high level. You won't get any trash talk in AgVisor Pro. Everybody's there to make the world a better place.
That's awesome.
Wait, Rob, that whole thing with the elementary school, though, or with any high school that you just said, making those examples clear of how science and all of the STEM activities relate back to agriculture, and you can do it through AgVisor Pro. That's huge in my book.
Huge.
Go ahead. You could finish what you were going to say.
No, I just think, just talk about genetic engineering. Throw that out there. And now let's have some farmers feedback to the people in the classrooms about what this all means. Does it mean more chemical, less chemical? What's the real word? What's the real word on the street from the people who are actually doing the work? It would be very interesting, I think, for classrooms to have that discussion from people actually using the technology.
I completely agree. And I feel like you're about to get a big spike in downloads from the Fargo-Moorhead area over here in North Dakota, Minnesota, and our listening audience. But it seems like it's just the no-brainer. This is the app that you should have within agriculture for agriculture communications, or even just seeing how the discussions work, picking up things here or there. Like you said, even if you don't post a question, you can still pick things up from this app. How many users do you have within AgVisor?
Well, there's about 750 experts on the platform, and I was just doing the demographics, actually, as I was late for this the interview here. We've got right around $70 billion worth of farmland on the platform. That'll give you a little bit of an indication as to the reach. So any company out there that wants to, have visibility to $70 billion worth of farmland, we have a program called the AgVisor Pro Market Access Program, and they can list their company and what the company does, and they can list their reps, and then farmers can have instantaneous connection with these people right in the platform. They never have to make a phone call or an email or go to a messenger. All the chats, all the connections are built inside of AgVisor Pro.
That's great. I got a couple more questions here for you, Rob. What does it take, and you had mentioned that you do some form of verification, to become an expert or to have the title of expert within your app? How do you go about that?
When you get onto the app, when you get on the app and you want to become an expert, you have to go through a profile. This is kind of the LinkedIn side of things, where we take in and ingest your education, work experience, designations, etc. We'll cross-reference all of those designations to determine verification of the expert on the platform. That's first level, and that'll get you your check mark. In other words, you're not faking it. You're a real person. You've got experience. You're in the industry. And then the second part of it is where we built in some Uberization to it. So as the number of rides or the number of interviews go up between the farmers or the seekers and the experts, there's a review system in place that will rise the cream to the top. So we've built that into the platform as well to help people understand who's really engaged in answering good quality questions.
You see, that was my follow-up question I was going to ask on that, is when it comes to the user or the expert and the dialogue or the answers, the advice, the solutions that they're distributing to other people, is there a ranking system, a rating system to ensure that that quality is still there over time? If someone's just there giving poor answers, bad decisions, is there a way that that's held accountable?
Well, the thing is that agriculture is not black and white. Agriculture is a series of grays, and the answer to questions are often it depends. So right now, there's a discussion going on with ammonium thiosulfate versus ammonium sulfate application on farmland. And I'm watching the questions, and you know what? You've got people that are sharing information from one point of view, and you got people sharing information from another point of view. No one's right, no one's wrong, because again, it depends on the pH of your soil, depends on the rainfall, crops, etc. So I think that in most cases we're getting 3.7 answers per question, and I think the value in AgVisor Pro is not one answer. It's that you get multiple answers, and then you use your own intelligence based on your farm, or you consult with the expert that looks like he or she has the greatest match, and you have a conversation to go deeper to determine what you should do.
See, I like that aspect of it as well. Just having the conversation to begin with and getting the communication between 2, 3, 4 different people, and then other people see it as well. And it's how you just get across all the topics and discussing something is by talking about it. So I think that aspect of it is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, and then you get into the technical issues. Let's say you're a farmer in Moorhead or somewhere out Devil's Lake area, and you're planting with your planter or your air seeder, and the monitor freezes and you can't plant. Well, that is that's like a emergency situation. And very often you can't get the support you need on time. And AgVisor Pro is another place you can turn. Again, from a technical standpoint, when we're talking about technology, that expert could be anywhere around the world. There's just as easily for somebody to answer the question who has experience from Germany as it is from somebody from South Dakota.
Right, that's awesome. B, do you got any more questions over there for Rob before we disconnect here?
I would just like to thank Rob for taking the time to visit with us. It was such a joy to have you to ask our questions to today, and do not feel any guilt about a link that held us up for a brief moment in time, because here we are, and we think that this gained a lot of traction for folks who are listening and something that they might find useful in their everyday life. So Thank you, Rob. We so appreciate it. Folks, we are going to go listen to the market update from American Ag Network, and then we'll recap weather and ag headlines right after that.
Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo invites you to join us for worship Sunday mornings at 8:30 and 10:30 and Wednesday evenings at 6. During this time of Lent, our theme is No Greater Love, where we will reflect on God's love for us through the death of Jesus on the cross. Our sanctuary is also open Wednesdays during lunch for individual reflection and prayer, where you can light a candle, leave a prayer at the cross, or simply be still. For more information and to watch all of our services online, go to olivet.org.
Attention experienced agronomists. If you have experience in the agronomy field, New Century Ag is looking for you. They're hiring a full-time agronomist. New Century Ag is looking for a motivated individual to help continue to build and grow their agronomy division. The candidate will be expected to work with farmers on crop protection products and services, seed sales and recommendations, plant nutrient and fertilizer sales and recommendations, and more. Apply at newcentag.com/careers.
The El Zagel Shrine Circus returns March 31st through April 2nd at the Fargo Dome with Circus Spectacular. See the death-defying double wheel of destiny, the Shrine Circus Elephants, and more. Tickets available at Hornbacher's, Cashwise, Family Fair, PetroServe, Econo Foods Wapaton, the Fargo Dome Box Office, and El Zagel Temple. Sponsored by Town & Country Credit Union, where you can get free tickets for ages 11 and under. Visit FargoShrineCircus.com. Proceeds benefit Shrine Temple operations.
A little slice of the country, still close enough to the city. A quick 30-minute drive north of Fargo will have you living the life on a beautiful 10 acres. This property checks all the boxes. Rows of gorgeous mature trees. Check. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Check. Large metal outbuilding and hay barn. Check. Did someone say chickens? Check. Check. Schedule your showing today at NancyKellyRealty.com or dial 701-306-0486.
Watching the market trade at midday. This is the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen with this market update. We're talking now with Arlen Suderman of StoneX. Arlen, as we look at this grain market trade, first off, corn and wheat holding relatively firm around unchanged. We saw more daily corn sales to China. Those weekly export sales numbers was a big number for corn as we expected. Meantime, though, soybean complex under more heavy pressure here today. I'm wondering if that's more fund liquidation being seen here in the soy complex today.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing that the chart's starting to turn ugly, breaking down like what wheat did several weeks ago, and even corn did as well at the same time. And apparently Argentina drought is old news to the funds right now, and they're not seeing it translate into increased demand for U.S. soy meal at this time. And so they're taking profits, and as the charts turn, they're all trying to get out the door as quick as they can. This is something that we were actually worried about for the last couple of months because the funds held such massive ownership of the soy meal market that we were worried that once they decided to get out, we could see just a real collapse of that market, pulling soybeans down with it. That appears to be what we're seeing unfold before us now.
And once again, that is Arlen Suderman, Chief Commodities Economist at StoneX, with market analysis here today. Corn and wheat relatively mixed, a couple of cents either side of unchanged, with the soy complex under heavy pressure again. Beans 15 to 25 lower. Cattle and hog trade is lightly mixed here as we work through our midday. The Dow Jones up 362, NASDAQ up 272, S&P up 53, with crude oil 27 cents a barrel higher, 71.17 at last check. You're listening to the American Ag Network. That is a check of the market trade here at midday from the American Ag Network studios. I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
Welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette, Readel Ag Director, and I am so lucky to have with me today Justin Storm, our meteorologist. And folks, we just finished up a great interview with Rob Saik. Rob is the founder of the AgVisor Pro app. For anyone who is interested in that app, you can find it where you get your any of your apps, really, whether it's on Apple or Droid. And if you ever have a question and you're not sure where to find it, you can go ahead and call us on the Red Wing Shoes hotline at 701-293-9000, or you can email us, weather or ag@flagfamily.com. So, Justin, what else would you like to share, whether in ag or weather, as we wind down the last few minutes of our show today?
Oh, I kind of teased on the forecast a little bit. Let's run through that real quick, and then I want to know more about this mistreatment of livestock in Nebraska. So, what we're dealing with today afternoon, although temperatures below average, they will be for the rest of this week into next week. It is what it is. It's still going to be some beautiful afternoons out there, and today is one of them. Looking at mainly sunny skies right now, temperatures are working their way through the teens. We should be, looks like we're at about 20 degrees right now. We'll hit a high of 24 with the southwest wind, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight, a likely chance for dense fog to develop with lows a few degrees either side of zero and light winds. Keep that in mind for your Friday morning commute. Might need to plan accordingly. Most of us should be dealing with reduced visibility from that fog around the area. Into Friday afternoon, that fog burns off. Another partly cloudy day and warmer than today. We'll have high temperatures close to 30 tomorrow with a south wind 5 to 15. Could see a flurry Friday night into your early Saturday morning, then partly cloudy for Saturday afternoon. Highs once again right around 30 degrees. We'll cool things down a little bit with more cloud cover on Sunday in the mid-20s, and that's all due to colder air sliding down out of Canada. Unfortunately, it'll bring us into the upper teens to low 20s on Monday of next week. Low to mid-20s on Tuesday, should be near 30 by the middle of next week, but we're still tracking another potential storm somewhere up here in the northern Great Plains. Does look like it could be another good snowmaker coming in late in the day on Thursday into Friday. But as I've been mentioning, something that far out using our computer models, exact details on the track and what the outcomes will be are just too uncertain at this time. So we'll continue to give you updates through the days to come, and especially as we head into next week when that storm gets a little bit closer, and especially once it makes its way on land.
All right. Well, we're getting down to the end of winter snowstorms, and we'll start focusing on what might be done differently as we get warmer air coming our way.
I sure hope so. I asked the Magic 8 Ball today on midday if we would hit 40 degrees in March. It said no. I asked if we'd hit it in April, but it said without a doubt. So, hey, we're going in the right direction. And even a Magic 8 Ball said we'll hit 50 in April. So something nice to look forward to.
As much as I look forward to a warm-up, it's slightly convenient for me that because I'm in the Bismarck-Mandan area, I went to Cloverdale to pick up my Easter ham, and it's currently riding around the back of my pickup where it's nice and cool.
Hey, was this the largest? Is this the largest ham, or is this just a ham?
She's pretty good sized. In fact, I bought two because ham is a red, like a blue ribbon type thing at my house. People really like ham.
It is a good little thing. Well, Bridgette, tell me a little bit about what's going on down there in Nebraska. If I'm reading this correctly, there's some mistreatment of livestock. What can you tell me about this?
All right, let's recap this as quickly as we can in the last minute. And that is, normally I like to bring all of the positivity to agriculture that I can. There are times where things happen that I'm going to pause and say we need to make sure we have enough information. This story is out of Lincoln County, Nebraska, where a father and son duo, their 1,000 head of cattle and sheep were seized due to malnutrition and mistreatment. Both men are facing charges. They were seized by the sheriff's department, but also in conjunction with their state brand inspectors, et cetera, to figure out that there was some malnourishment. The animals were not being fed and watered as they should be. I don't know, because this talks about legal details. We don't know if there was financial hardship, if this had to do with the drought, or what the situation might be. But please understand that livestock producers take care of their animals because as much as they may be a cash crop, they are a living being, and that livestock producers take great pride in their care and their health. And so this is an anomaly. This is not a usual situation. And if at all possible we learn any more details, I'll try to share those, but that's what we know right now.
Okay, so maybe let's touch back on this topic tomorrow. I got a couple questions, but we don't have enough time to dive into that. So we'll bring this topic back up tomorrow, and if you'd like to join in on it again, you're always welcome to do so. But that'll do it for Weather and Ag in Focus today. We wish you all have a great afternoon and a great week ahead. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Jay Thomas Show is next.
970 WDAY.